My name's Jack. I'm just an ordinary truck driver, a man of the road who spends countless hours traversing the vast expanse of highways that crisscross this country. And for years, I've braved the long nights and solitary drives, my faithful truck serving as my only companion. But little did I know that one fateful journey on the Route 50 would forever change my perception of reality. The Route 50, also known as the Highway of Shadows, has long held a dark reputation among those who traverse its desolate stretch. Nestled amidst remote landscapes and dense forests, this road carries with it a history steeped in mystery and whispered legends. Local folklore speaks of the Route 50 as a place where the veil between the living and the dead grows thin, where restless spirits roam the night, searching for resolution or wreaking havoc on unsuspecting travelers. It's said that the dense fog that blankets the road at night is more than a mere meteorological phenomenon. It is a shroud that conceals the phantasmal entities that call this forsaken highway their domain. It is against this backdrop that I, an ordinary truck driver, find myself facing the enigma that was the Route 50. Oblivious to the stories that circulated among locals, I embarked on this usual route, my truck slicing through the darkness as I ventured deeper into the heart of the unknown. I gripped the steering wheel tightly, my knuckles turning white under the strain. The engine of my aging truck roared like a wounded beast as it devoured mile after mile of the desolate Route 50. Darkness had descended, shrouding the world in an inky blackness that seemed to seep into my very bones. As I drove deeper into the night, a chilling sense of unease settled over me. The only company I had was the monotonous hum of the road beneath me and the distant whispers of wind that sent shivers down my spine. The barren landscape stretched out like a lifeless canvas, devoid of any signs of civilization. It felt as though I had entered a realm untouched by time, a place where nightmares took shape. Suddenly, a thick fog rolled in, its tendrils snaking their way across the asphalt. I switched on the high beams, hoping to cut through the impenetrable mist. But instead, the fog seemed to grow denser, swirling around my truck with an otherworldly presence. My heart pounded in my chest as I realized I was no longer alone on this forsaken road. Through the haze, I caught glimpses of ghostly figures, their forms distorted and contorted. Shadows danced on the edges of my vision, mocking me with their elusive nature. Panic seized me, and I desperately tried to rationalize what I was seeing, blaming exhaustion and tricks of the mind. But deep down, I knew there was something more sinister at play. As I rounded a bend, I caught sight of a figure standing in the middle of the road directly in my path. I slammed on the brakes, tires screeching against the unforgiving pavement. The figure, a woman, stood unmoving, her eyes devoid of life. Her ragged clothes clung to her skeletal frame, and her pale skin appeared as though it had been drained of all vitality. I cautiously stepped out of the truck, the air heavy with an oppressive silence. Every instinct screamed at me to run, to flee this nightmarish scene, but something compelled me to approach the woman. Her lips trembled, as if struggling to form words, and a chilling voice whispered inside my head, urging me closer. "Help me," she rasped, her voice laced with sorrow and desperation. "Save us all." My heart wrenched at the plea in her eyes, and against my better judgment, I reached out to touch her frail hand. But as soon as my fingertips brushed her skin, a searing pain shot through my body. The woman's form melted away, replaced by a grotesque creature with elongated limbs and a face twisted into a wicked grin. I stumbled back, horror coursing through my veins. The creature let out an ear-splitting screech that pierced the night, and suddenly, a horde of twisted beings emerged from the shadows, their piercing gazes fixed upon me. They moved with an unnatural grace, closing in on me with a hunger in their eyes that I couldn't comprehend. Terrified, I sprinted back to my truck, the engine roaring to life as I slammed my foot down on the gas pedal. The nightmarish creatures chased after me, their haunting screams blending with the howling wind. My heart pounded in my ears, drowning out all rational thought as I raced against the encroaching darkness. Miraculously, I broke free from the fog, leaving the spectral entities behind. But the memory of that nightmarish encounter would forever haunt my dreams. I would forever be plagued by the echoing screams and the haunted plea for salvation. Since that fateful night, I've never dared to venture onto the Route 50 again. But the images of those creatures remain etched into my mind, a constant reminder that there are terrors lurking in the depths of the night, waiting to ensnare unsuspecting souls like mine. Months passed, and the memories of that horrific night began to fade. I tried to convince myself that it was all a figment of my imagination, a manifestation of exhaustion and fear. But fate had other plans. One stormy evening, I found myself in a small roadside diner, seeking refuge from the downpour. The place was empty, save for a few scattered patrons huddled in the corners. I ordered a cup of coffee and settled into a booth, hoping to shake off the persistent unease that had plagued me since that night on the Route 50. As I sipped my steaming drink, a frail old man approached my table. His eyes were clouded with age, but they held a spark of recognition as he peered at me. "You've been down that cursed road, haven't you?" he asked in a quivering voice. Startled, I nodded slowly, my heart pounding in my chest. How could this stranger know about my ordeal? The old man's gaze grew distant, lost in the depths of his memories. "The Route 50, he whispered, his voice laden with a mixture of fear and sorrow. "It has a dark history. They say it's a gateway, a place where the living and the dead converge." His words sent a chill down my spine. "What do you mean?" I managed to utter, my voice barely above a whisper. He leaned in closer, his voice dropping to a hushed tone. "Legend has it that the fog you encountered is no ordinary mist. It's a veil between worlds, a bridge that allows the spirits of the restless dead to cross over. Those beings you saw, they were lost souls trapped in an eternal torment." I listened in disbelief, the pieces of the puzzle slowly falling into place. It wasn't my imagination playing tricks on me that night. I had stumbled into a realm where the boundaries between reality and the supernatural were blurred. The old man's eyes held a glimmer of warning. "Beware, young traveler. Once you've glimpsed the horrors of Route 50, they never truly leave you. The spirits will forever haunt your every step, seeking solace and salvation." With those haunting words, the old man retreated back into the shadows, leaving me alone with my thoughts and the weight of the revelation that had unfolded before me. Route 50 would forever be a place of darkness and despair, its secrets hidden beneath a shroud of mist and forgotten souls. To this day, I live with the knowledge that I survived an encounter with the supernatural. The memories of that nightmarish journey would forever be etched into my mind, a constant reminder of the thin line that separates the realms of the living and the dead. As I navigate the roads, I can't help but wonder if there are other highways, other paths that hide secrets just as terrifying as the 50.